Hi, everyone. It's Sia from Heal Love Now. And today I want to talk about a really fun topic, and that is how to attract an African man. So, how to attract an African man. This is such a fun topic, and I want to dive into it because I find that within the US, there are a certain set of standards um, as far as how to attract a man. And abroad, especially on the African continent, there are a whole other set of standards. So I wanted to share with you my experience with those aspects of African culture that relate to relationships and what brings a man to your table as a woman in an African context. So, the first thing I would say African men love women uh, who are grounded in our feminine energy. Um, Men from the continent, particularly Nigeria and Ghana, are really moved by the opportunity to give and share with their woman. So, if you are a woman who is looking to attract an African man, you need to be really open to receiving. You need to be um, looking toward having someone cosset you, to really take care of you, to pamper you, to give you a sort of knight in shining armor sort of vibe. And this kind of attitude is not very typical in the US, especially amongst African American men. There's a whole different style. Whereas African men would love for you to expect that they would pay for dinner. They would adore that you look to them to buy you things, buy you clothes, buy you shoes. They actually gain a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment from having that chivalry that's so old fashioned and so traditional when it relates to courting you, dating you, um, even in marriage. So, very specifically, and I know this is so um, superficial, but in an African context, a woman's hair um, World Cup. It's her mantle. It's what reflects and represents most outwardly her beauty. And African women spend a lot of time on their hair, a lot of energy taking care of and cultivating their beautiful hair. And it is expected that your man would want and would feel privileged to pay for your hair care. It's almost a treat and honor for an African man, particularly Nigeria and Ghana, West Africans. Men love to cater to their women with regards to their hair. And this is such a beautiful thing because the culture around doing hair is so rich and um, so protected, so special. Women get together and they spend hours braiding their hair, oiling their scalp, washing, conditioning. It's such a ritual that is so deeply meaningful in African culture. So when you pair that with relationships and courting and impressing your man, it's times 1,000 because for him to really show how much he values you and cares for you, taking on your hair expenses is just such a great sign of his dedication and his commitment. So, if you're looking to attract an African man, do not be afraid to ask him to um, get involved in your hair care routine. Not in the sense of him being directly a part of it, but sharing with him when your appointments are, letting him know what style you're going to get, asking him what his opinion is. These are going to make him feel so good. And he's going to, as a result, offer to pay for your appointments, to drive you to your um, scheduled visits with your stylist, to pick you up after. It's going to be something that he's really going to get excited about. And this is not something that you generally find um, in America amongst like a typical American man. But it is so deeply rooted in an African cultural context. So that's important. And then the next thing is African men love their women to cook good food, spicy food, and to really put a lot of energy into meals. For them, that is a sign of her dedication and commitment to the relationship, her love for the man. So find out how to cook African dishes, get some cookbooks and recipes, really try and absorb the nuanced flavor and culture around food that is at the heart of an African man's nuanced flavor and culture around food that is at the heart of an African man's um, like love language. And I actually have learned how to make a lot of Nigerian dishes because I am married to a Nigerian man. And it just it does wonders when you can cook good, spicy, soul African food. So that's number two. And then number three, African men love a woman who is comfortable in her body, who can move her body, who is in tune with her physicality. So it's not so much how much you weigh or not, but the fullness of your relationship with your figure is something that's very enticing for African men. The way you move, the way you hold yourself, the way you dance, the way you dress and wrap your body is so fundamental to creating the vibe that will attract an African man. So, where wear what makes you feel beautiful. Get dressed up. Put on lots of color and um, wear things with flair that stand out because that's a very if you go to parties in Nigeria, in Ghana, it's so flamboyant. Everyone is dressed to the nines, and people put a lot of attention and care into what they're wearing. It's not just throwing on something that um, is just kind of one and done. In an African context, you go all out, and the men love that. They love for a woman to just really look like a superstar on any given average night. So, and then this leads into how they will want to buy clothes for you. They'll get a sense of your body type and they'll want to shop for you. They'll be at the airport or at the mall when you're not even there and they'll see something on a mannequin or hanging on a, a rack that's beautiful and they will buy it for you because African men, they attend to those details and they like to honor their woman. They like to make her feel beautiful, make her feel special, and to show in tangible ways how much they are attracted to you and how much they care. So, yes, go all out. And then shoes. There is something particularly special about Nigerian men and shoes. They love to buy their babes shoes. So if you are a shoe lover, you are right in line with what's perfect for a Nigerian man. I know, again, it sounds superficial, but it's true. They love to buy you shoes. They love for you to wear nice shoes. Shoes are very important in an African cultural context in the sense of people look at you by your shoes. If you can have everything together, but if your shoes are not on point, it won't really um, have a full impact. So they spend a lot of money on shoes. There are a lot of African designers that are making shoes on the continent. It's um, a very important aspect of the culture. Your feet, the adornment of your feet. So number four, yeah. And then let me think, is there anything else as far as attracting a Nigerian man? Yes. So it's important for Nigerians in general um, for you to be well educated um, and articulate and ambitious and a multi passionate person and woman. Although he loves you to be very beautiful and feminine and well dressed and awesome in the kitchen, he also wants a woman who is highly intelligent. So do not hold back on your credentials and your pedigree. Be free to express how brilliant you are and what goals you um, have attained and will attain. Nigerian men love that. They are so moved by dynamic women who are multifaceted because their mothers are, and their sisters are, and their aunties are. So they expect you to be as well. So basically, being super in your feminine energy, beautiful, shining, glowing, dressed um, sensually and adoringly with your down to your shoes, your hair. um, this kind of vibe will bring you a Nigerian man, a Ghanaian man, a Senegalese man, a Cameroonian man. I know so many African American women who are exhausted with the possibilities within this context of the US. And when they interface with West Africa, they find that, wow, the rules are totally different there. It is not a struggle to get a man to want to worship you and serve you. It is commonplace, it's normal, it's cultural, it's natural. So basically, be your best self, shine bright like a diamond, um, rest in your femininity, your skills in the kitchen, your doing up your hair, and also show your brilliance. Be confident with your intelligence. Um, make it clear that you're on a mission to achieve your goals. All those together, and you will for sure um, nail an African man. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with those continentals. Peace, y'all.